What do you do when you feel stuck or plateaued in your business?
If I really focused on all those spot fires, on all those little losses throughout the day, I'd never push through.
First of all, are you actually stuck or plateaued, or are you just bored?
A lot of people will focus on that end result too much and just go, well, shit, I'm not there yet. I still don't have the car.
Yeah.
I don't have the relationship. I don't have this, and this. And I go, that's not a failure. That's just the journey.
We've been doing, $1 million a year for the last 5 years, and I don't know how to overcome this hurdle. You got to work out what your biggest constraint point is.
So you got to take that action. Like if you're sitting there and you're plateaued and you're not hitting that next ceiling, you're not doing enough.
How do you keep that going, having not achieved what you set out to achieve yet? I really like your hat, man.
Thanks. I like yours.
Where'd you get it?
I got it from Las Vegas.
Oh, how funny. Me too.
No way. Who would have thought?
Yeah, I think they make them at the same place because we both got green underneath.
That's it. It could very well be the case. Wouldn't surprise me. There is a connection there.
So you were, there is a connection there. I was trying to make the connection just then. So you were recently in Vegas.
I was. It was good. I went purely for the strippers. That's it.
That's
the only reason you go, isn't it?
that's why we all go.
That's right.
All right, let's get straight into business. So, I've actually got some questions
Cool.
from some listeners that we're going to rattle off and give them some answers. Let's share our insights.
Love it.
Cool.
Hey, and thanks for sharing. Thanks for getting in touch and asking your questions.
Thanks for reaching out. Sorry for the late response. Okay, we got a few different kind of questions. Some are about mindset, some are about business, some are about marketing. Is there any particular ones you want to start with, or do you want me to just rattle them off by the in order they came in?
Feel like a mindset space at the moment to start this off. Let's go there.
Okay, so first question. How do you stay motivated when you're not seeing results yet?
Oh, I like that one. Intelligent question.
That's a great question.
It is.
Because I do feel that way sometimes.
I feel like that all the time.
Yeah.
I would have more losses than what I have wins throughout the day. And
You reckon?
yeah, without a doubt. Without
Right.
a doubt. As in they're not detrimental losses.
Yeah, but
when I
what's
say
an
losses, I'm saying just difficult things that happen throughout the day.
Yeah.
Things that I have to do that I don't necessarily want to do. Do you know what I mean? So for myself, it's if I really focused on all those spot fires, on all those little losses throughout the day, I'd never push through. I would never go, I need to get through to get to that goal. I would just give up straight away. I'd go, well, this isn't worth it because I just keep getting so many losses. And I don't think you can really be motivated all the time. It's not that I think. You cannot be motivated 100% of the time. It's not a resource that you can just tap into. It's not like, okay, I'm going to be motivated now. It doesn't work like that. For me, it's a matter of discipline. Just being more disciplined in what you need to do and focusing and sticking to the plan. And eventually you will see that it will work out. And it's happened for me throughout my whole career in anything and everything I've done, from relationships, from business, from friendships, from anything I've ever done. As long as I've stuck to it, believed in it, I've always had the result at the end of the day. So I genuinely believe discipline is probably more important than motivation. It's like the gym as well. When you go to the gym, you're not motivated to go. I don't wake up at 5 in the morning and go, yes, let's go to the gym, pumped. It's difficult. I'm nice and warm in my bed. I then have to go out and stress my body to achieve growth, do whatever I've got to do. It's not a motivating thing. But I realize that I need to do 20,000 repetitions before I'm going to get the body, the level of fitness, the level of health that I want.
Okay. Let me dive into that question a bit. So you've spoken on this podcast about having a six-pack. Do you have a six-pack?
No.
Okay, so how do you still push for that six-pack? Like, what's the mental process that you go through? Because you still train, you still watch what you eat.
Yep.
How do you keep that going, having not achieved what you set out to achieve yet?
Yeah, good question, because it's arguably taken longer than what it should. No, not arguably. It has taken longer than what it should. And for me, it hasn't been my number one thing for the longest time. And it's almost that lie you buy into. I'll do it, I'll get there. For me, it's a level of accomplishment as well, and saying, yes, I've done it. Yes, I'm there. Yes, I can do it. And also with everything we're doing as far as the coaching and consulting world is concerned, and being on stage and all that sort of stuff, when I stand up there and say, I'm going to be, oh, you guys need to be elite, you guys need to be the best, you need to be this, 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 and this, I feel that it's hypocritical of me not being elite, the best in my physical health, telling others to be good in business or in their life or whatever it might be. So it's what motivates me to keep going and not give up on that goal. Maybe it's a little bit of stubbornness.
How do you stay motivated in the sense that, like, because the question was, how do you stay motivated when you haven't seen any results yet?
Okay. But I have seen results. I can't say I haven't seen results.
Yeah, I think
so you do get results throughout the day. And don't get me wrong, even though I say I have heaps of losses throughout the day, I overcome those losses. And that in itself is a win at the end of the day. But throughout that whole day, there's things and challenges that come up that I have to get through. And it happens with every single person. It's not just me as a business owner. My employees have this. I'll have my employee on site, my construction manager, call me. He goes, this, and this has happened. It's fucked. This is the worst day. I said, oi, chill out. What have you done to fix it? This. Cool. Problem solved. Like, yes, that was a difficult thing, but you've called the right people. You've engaged the right things. You've given the right advice. Problem solved. Move on to the next one now. Stop focusing on the negative aspect of what you're doing, because yes, I could just sit here and go, I'm fat. I hate this. I'm just going to give up. There's no point. I'm just going to have a dad bod for the rest of my life. All right. You know, my wife still loves me. My kids still love me. You know, you're still my friend. I could still be on stage. I don't know, after September. Huh?
You don't get a six pack.
I can still get on stage. I'm not obese. I wear clothes that people wouldn't know. Yeah. Like, do you know what I mean? There's so many factors for me to go, no, it's okay. It's okay, George. Just relax. You're 40. Relax. Why be stressed? For me as well, I have this really big thing, especially now that I am 40, is I want to be one of those grandfathers, but not even that, just in my 40s and just be in tip-top, like physical, mental health, physique, what's it called? At a elite level of my physical and mental health and spiritual health. Because I really feel at this age, you have to be disciplined. When we were 20, like, so much energy. Do you know what I mean? You accidentally get a six-pack just from the nature of what you're doing. And now it's actual effort. It's discipline. It's watching your food. It's eating the right, or taking the right supplements. It's a whole range of things that now have to come into play for that. So I have a huge connection to a level of excellence in my life. So that's what motivates me to continue to keep going. And I don't see it as a failure. Like I said it last year, I needed a six-pack by my 40th birthday, which was July last year. And I don't see that as a failure because I did come a long way, even though I didn't achieve that. You're wearing a 10X hat right now. And that 10X hat isn't necessarily you want 10X of everything. But rather than aim for a 2-pack, aim for a 6-pack, you might get a 4-pack. Do you know what I mean? When I'm saying that. So the concept, how I see 10X as well, is it's not necessarily that you're going to achieve 10X wealth. But if you aim for a 2X, you might get 1X, or you might not even get there at all. But if you aim for a 10X, you might get a 7X. So for me, it's just a journey. It's an ongoing thing. Like, I've made it a lifestyle change. I haven't made it I'm going to have a 6-pack in 6 months and then get fat again and then train again and have a 6-pack in 6 months.
That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, 100% you are. I know. I can't wait. I can't wait. For those of you that haven't taken a photo of,
and then get fat.
I've got 2 photos of Robbie in my phone eating a donut for breakfast. And each time I was mortified.
You can subscribe to my OnlyFans. So I constantly update it there.
So what about yourself? How do you see it?
Yeah, so I think it comes down to changing your focus, because it sounds like someone who's writing that sort of question, they're looking at the end result.
Yes.
And they're like, I haven't made the $1 million. I haven't done that thing. And it's like, you know, you've already achieved stuff you've set out.
So good.
That you thought were going to, you know,
make you happy.
Or make you happy, etc.
I had that moment yesterday driving in my car. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah,
I had that exact moment. I was driving my car and I was sitting there and I was thinking back to when we drove the Ferrari, Lamborghini and all that sort of stuff in Vegas.
My arm's fucked from that, by the way, yeah?
Hey, I got a hernia.
Yeah, keep going.
So we think it happened there. I don't know. But when we were driving the supercars and I was driving my car to my in-laws and I was by myself and I was just thinking, oh, fuck, why isn't this a Lambo? Why isn't this car a Lambo yet? You know, and it made me go back and go, you know what? Fuck. It's not a Lambo, but it's still a very nice car. It's still a very, people work their whole life and don't buy this car. People work their whole life and don't achieve the things that I've achieved. And I did have to take a step back and go and just practice a second of gratitude and just go, you know what, man, you're doing well. Just stick to the course. Trust the plan.
Yeah.
Don't give up. Keep going, right? Because it might just take that extra 6 months. It might take that extra year.
It's probably going to take more than you. I think people underestimate what it's going to take.
Yeah. Yeah, without a doubt. I asked my son that question yesterday as well because we were driving and they do this thing they call spotto whenever they see a yellow car. I think it's a kid thing these days.
You don't do it?
I do it now. Flat stick. Anyway, my son calls spotto and we drive past the car. It was a Lambo and it was a yellow one. And we drive past it and my wife was in the car. She's like, oh, she goes, he looked like he was 20 years old, the guy driving that car. And I said to my son, I go, Stevie, what do you think when you see a young person like that? When I say young, I know it seems old to you, but when you see a 20-year-old driving a car like that, what do you think? I just wanted to test and see where his mind was at. I go, what do you think when you see that? And mind you, he hasn't been influenced by external factors. And he goes, oh, I think that they're really successful. I think they've done things that, you know, have made them a lot of money. So that's the way he went. He was thinking about it in a positive way. This person, being young, had achieved a level of wealth that he was able to buy that car. And it was funny, my wife was completely opposite. Again, not through fault of her own, but through her external factors. Growing up, I was the same growing up, and I'm sure you were too, and many people listening, is the only way that that young person could have got that Lamborghini was if he was doing something wrong, illegal, or it was given to him. That's the only way we could possibly comprehend that this person would get that.
Sometimes we're justifying our own.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Too.
Exactly right.
And your son's quite young, so for him, that's probably still within reach.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I'm still 10 years away from that.
That's right.
I'll get a Lambo when I'm 20.
Yeah.
And then you realize, like, having a Lambo when you're 20 is very hard.
It is. It is very hard.
Very
but
hard.
I still don't, okay, so I still don't have a disbelief that I'm going to get that car, that I'm not going to get that car. Do you know what I mean?
So you still believe you are?
Oh, I think it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
I don't see it as, man, hope in the next 10 years. 6 months, mate. Like, what? It could change very quickly.
Very quickly.
It can change very quickly. I could win another 10 projects this year, all at a huge value. Who knows? Like, there's so much that could happen, and we keep pushing the boundary. It's not like we're stopping at any moment. So I think you're 100% on. A lot of people will focus on that end result too much and just go, well, shit, I'm not there yet. I still don't have the car.
Yeah.
I don't have the relationship. I don't have this, and this. And I go, that's not a failure. That's just the journey. And you have to love the journey too. Sorry, you don't always have to love the journey, but the journey is a huge part of achieving the goal or getting to the destination.
Yeah. Like, you know, we've all heard those sayings about who you become, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
But the biggest thing I think is like changing your focus around if you always look for what you don't have, you'll always find something.
Yeah.
There will always be something you don't have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's always going to be someone with the bigger,
Yeah.
the bigger boat, the bigger jet, the better car, more cars, the bigger garage, the bigger house, whatever it is.
Whatever it is, at any time.
It's like focus on the wins. Do you know what I mean? What's come of it? How have you?
Yes.
What's happened in your last 90 days? How have you improved? And if you haven't, then do that. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, okay, cool. I haven't reached my goal yet, or I haven't seen the results that I want to see yet. But I guarantee you, if you're doing the right things, there's some result. Like there's something has changed. Do you know what I mean? Something somewhere has changed. Whatever it is you do, like even in a shorter term, you know, if you're trying to lose 50 kilos and you're like, I haven't lost 50 kilos yet. Yeah, but you probably lost 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. There's your 10x thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're aiming for 50, but if you never aimed for 50 in the first place, you probably wouldn't have even lost the 5. Because you'd be like, oh, I'll try lose 5 kilos, and you might lose 1. You can lose 1 just by not drinking water for a day.
Yes. Very true. But yeah, I would change my focus. That's what I would.
Your focus determines your reality at the end of the day.
Yeah, what you focus on expands.
Mm-hmm.
So if you choose to focus on what's missing, you'll notice more of what's missing.
Yeah.
If you choose to focus more on what you've done and what you've achieved and what you have.
Yeah. I mean, we could do a whole episode just on that question, I reckon. Seriously.
Yeah, it's a great question.
It is a good question. There's so much more and there's so many more layers to it and strategies that you can incorporate into that. But shorthand, they're the areas that I look at. And also, does what you're trying to achieve, does it line with your core values? Like, is it something you genuinely want? Is it something you genuinely need? Or is it put there by someone else? Sometimes your parents may want you to become a doctor. You know, that's not necessarily your goal. You want to be
You want to make your parents proud.
Yeah, but it's exactly, but that's not your ultimate goal.
It's it's definitely a topic we could dive deeply into.
Mm.
All right. Next question. You ready for the next one?
Yeah, let's rock.
Okay. If you had to start again with $0, how would you get your first 10 clients?
Do I have any connections?
I don't know.
Like base that, yeah. I'm asking you. So
just say,
zero,
like, for example,
$0,
you lost
zero
everything-
connections.
Lost everything tomorrow?
Yep. So I've got my knowledge, I've got my connections, I've got everything, I've got my experience.
You're still human.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, your power base is your very first place you've got to go to. Generally, when you first start a business, it's like your ideal client is anyone with a pulse, you know, so that kind of goes out the door as far as qualifying absolutely every single
What do you
person.
mean by that when you say that? 'Cause
Anyone
I've heard
with
you
a
say it
pulse.
few times.
Yeah. Just trying to get you got to get revenue in your organization. Like,
Yeah, so
need
you
to get
will
money
do-
in. You have to do, like, you would probably take on a
But I
for
think,
myself, I would probably take on a project I wouldn't normally.
yeah,
And also, for example, if I was starting out, I'd probably start a bit smaller. I wouldn't maybe go for the $10 million project day one.
yeah.
So maybe it means I have to go for the $250,000 one first up to get the ball rolling again. But your power base, so who over the course of your career, who are the 10 people that you know that you can call up and can help you? Not necessarily by giving you a client. Maybe it could be an introduction. It could be some advice. It could be help, whatever it might be. Or it could actually be a genuine client.
Yeah, like a
Give-
referral or a
Yeah,
connection.
that's right. It could even be them.
Push you in the right direction.
It could a client. The people that have
introduce you
bought
to
from you, the people that have purchased from you in the past are the easiest people to sell to again, because they've already bought from you once. They already know what you're about. They already trust and have rapport. So I would reach out to my power base the very first thing. Then I would go out again to, say, external consultants. So let's just assume it's in construction because that's where I'm in. I would go back out to architects I've done a lot of work with, or engineers, other superintendents, whatever it might be, project managers or project management companies. I would go out and speak to all of those people and go, cool guys, this, and get in touch with all of them. That's where I would start for sure and go there. And then once I've got some more money together, I'd be a bit more strategic with starting to run ads. I look, the trick to winning in business these days is digital ads.
But people need to know who you are.
They have to.
Yeah.
They have to. You know, Grant Cardone said this at his event the other day. He was like, put your hand up if you don't know me. And there was a few people put their hands up. Before coming to this event, put your hand up if you didn't know who I was. And I put his hand up because I apologize. You know, that's my fault. You should know who I am. I'm obviously not doing enough.
Did he say that?
Yeah, he goes, I apologize. He goes, obviously not putting out enough ads. I'm obviously not doing enough to reach you so that you know me. That's my fault. It's not your fault that you didn't know me. It's my fault. And I genuinely feel that about business. People need to know who you are.
Well,
and I've seen it firsthand with, I won't mention who it is, but I've seen it firsthand with an Australian builder who they're just I think they're the pinnacle of where a construction company could be. And they did that exact thing. They just got their branding and their marketing 100% right. And it just catapulted them as the go-to builder in the country. Proof is in the pudding, but people will never go out there. Not will never. You see how many events we go to and we ask the question, how much, put your hand up if you're spending money on marketing, and it's less than 5% of the room. And even those 5% that put their hand up, they're spending, $500 a month. And that's a big thing for them. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not a fart in the wind.
Yeah. I agree. I think that should not be your first step.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be the first. You need
Yeah.
some money coming in. That's why I say anyone with a pulse.
If I had to start from zero again, I would focus on the exact same thing you said. I'd reach out to all the people that I know and say, who can I help? I would probably go and do shit for free.
Yeah.
And I've done that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I normally charge for quotes. I probably wouldn't be charging for quotes.
Yeah, I would just do anything to get my foot in the door in any way I could. And then once I secured one deal, one client,
Yep.
I would absolutely make sure I over deliver
Yeah.
in every way possible. I like this thing. There's this thing Alex Hormozy talks about, and he goes, you want to talk about your product and everyone thinks their product's good. He goes, imagine that I said to you, hey, okay, cool. Your business, we're going to change one thing. You cannot get any more referrals from architects and stuff. You cannot run any ads. You can't take any walk-ins. You can't answer the phone. We cannot get clients in any way possible. The only way we can get clients is from this one client you have. They have to refer people. How are you treating that client? And it's probably not the way you're treating them right now.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And then it's like, how can you deliver to that extent so that that person then becomes a raving fan and goes and builds on from that?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Yeah, that'd be the one thing I'd focus on.
I'd probably also look at doing even potentially contract working too. So you might not necessarily go in and win a new project, but you might be able to contract for another builder, another consultant, whatever it might be. So someone in your niche. You might work for another marketing agency, for example, and just say, hey, I've got a wealth of experience. I'm really fucking good at this. I can become a part of your team as a contractor, and at least that gets you a wage, let's say. So you're getting some income, you're getting some bread. You don't have to take the profits from your other jobs to feed yourself. And then you can start having that steady stream. And then it'll eventually get to a point where you go, cool, I'm at the end of the month, I'm going to stop contracting to you, or I can give you a quote and you can become one of my clients, whatever you want.
Grant Cardone says this thing, it's who's got my money?
Yeah, I love that.
Who's got my money? When he backs up against the wall, who's got my money? Who is it that needs what I'm offering right now? Who's got my money? Because they've got your money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whatever it is, whatever you do, someone somewhere needs it. Your business solves a problem.
Yeah.
You need to work out who that person is and how you get in touch with them. That's a good question though, because it makes you think, fuck, should I go do that now? Like, do you know what I mean? Like in the sense of, should I do more of that?
Yeah.
If that drove more revenue, like should...
The one thing you just said then, like a thing went off in my head and go, I've got to reach out to this person.
Yeah.
That I haven't reached out to. No, I have reached out to, I haven't gotten back to. And that's the one thing that's just out of that question. So thank you.
Okay. Another question. What should I focus on more, content or paid ads?
I think you need content before you go down the path of paid ads anyway. So let's assume you haven't got much content. Start making content. Start making content because that will help with your paid ads. You can repurpose that content and use it in ads. But also when people do come to your page, they actually see you're an active person across social media, advertising your business, sharing your expertise. So definitely starting with brand 100%. And then start looking into paid ads for sure. Because, I mean, you've had clients come to you before and I've referred you people and they just had no brand whatsoever. And you're like, listen, probably not the best thing to start spending money on ads. No one knows who you are. You don't showcase anything. Start running some ads. Start doing something.
Yeah, I would answer that a little bit differently.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it depends on what you want.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because they don't. I think the biggest mistake people make, and I have this, I'm gonna put this as an FAQ on the website because I get asked this so much. They want a video because they want leads.
Yeah.
And it's like wrong. Like, you know what I mean? That's like coming to me with a rugby ball and saying, let's play soccer. And it's like, you're playing the wrong game, dude. You got to ask yourself what you want in that position. Do you want more clients right now? Is that your goal? Like, do you need leads? Because if you need leads, paid ads get you leads, not brand. But if you don't need leads and you want to build a brand, you don't build a brand. Running paid ads help you build a brand over a longer period of time, but so does content. Now, your content, if you put out content regularly, which you should, that should help you convert the leads you get better, because then people see that you're genuinely a business, you're in operation, they can understand and learn a little bit more about you. Because what's the first thing we do? Yeah, 100%. What's the first thing we do when we see, people think they're going to see your ad once
and buy,
and they're going to click and buy and that's it. And it's like, that's not how it works. They will see your ad multiple times, multiple times. There was a study done about this. It used to be 4 back in the day, and now it's like 20 or something.
Yeah.
How many times you have to see a business before you engage them? But yeah, my answer to that is depends on what you want. Like if you want to build a brand because you're full of work now and you're trying to build for the future, brand trumps everything. We know that. But if you need work in the next 90 days, spending all your marketing budget on content is not going to get you
I agree.
down that route.
I agree.
Yeah. Anything you'd like to add to that?
It's a long-term forever game. Never stops. Never stops. And despite social media now being such a prevalent part of business, I don't think there'd be very few companies out there these days that don't have at least an Instagram page. Do you know what I mean? It's such a core necessity that even though that's the space we're in, people are still not playing it properly.
Yeah, but even like I always tell people, like it doesn't, you just scheduling tools. Like put an hour aside, schedule 4 posts over the next 4 weeks, and that's your month.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's not even a lot.
That's definitely not a lot, but it's like, that's like just to let people know you're alive.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Just let them know there's a pulse here.
Yeah.
Like this business is operating. Right now, our focus isn't content, but we're operating. You know what I mean? And we let you know that by constantly putting something out every now and again, just to say, hey, like this is what we're currently working on.
Yeah.
Or this is whatever it is. You choose. There's no rules. There's ways to play the game, but there's no rules or things you can't do except post nudes. When should I hire my first team member?
Hire before it hurts. So don't be ridiculously busy. Have a clusterfuck of work and then hire someone, because you're going to put them into a position of chaos. You say, here, do this, do this, do this. They'll probably get overwhelmed. They probably won't like what they're doing. And then they may end up quitting or just not being the ideal person, stressed out, whatever it is. So if you put them on just before that point in time, so before it hurts you, it'll hurt you probably a little bit financially, but at least they come in and can take control of certain aspects of your business, whatever you need them to do. And then when it does get busy, because you're employing them to scale at the end of the day, when you do get those forecasted projects come through, or those clients or whatever it might be, they then have much better control on those new clients and will deliver a better product. So I like to hire before I really, really, really need them.
But so how do you know? Because you answered when
it's hard
not to.
Yes, it is difficult. But for example, I know I've got at least 2 to 3 projects coming up now in the next month. Say the next quarter. Okay, let's do it like that. So I would start looking at hiring someone today. And I actually am. I'm in the process of hiring a new apprentice. So shoot me a DM if you're a carpentry apprentice or an apprentice carpenter looking for work. Shoot us a DM. But I don't necessarily need that person today, but I know I'm going to have that work coming up and they're going to be beneficial for me in the future. So yes, he may not be the busiest person for the next month. Big deal. I will be able to find enough work for him to do. And then when we are busy, he's got plenty of work. He's not overwhelmed. He knows all our systems. He knows our policies, our procedures, how we operate. And it's a much smoother transition to have them in.
Is there a particular marker you look for? Like if someone or this person asking the question, like how would they know if they're... How do you know if you are in the position where you're going to need this person eventually? Like what's the give? Because you're saying... Don't wait until you're too busy.
What do you look at? I suppose look at what you're doing in the business. Is this the very first hire? Are we saying, or just a hire?
Question was first.
Yeah. Okay. First hire. Look at what you are doing. If you are spending 2 days doing invoicing because you are that busy that you have to spend 2 days doing invoicing, you can hire someone to do that. Even start off hiring someone part-time. Say part-time position with the intention to be full-time within the next 3 months. So that way, at least they're coming in 2-3 days a week, taking that aspect of work off your plate, taking control of it. And then eventually, as you get busier, look at what you're doing and what's taking up the most amount of your time that isn't necessarily helping you in your business growth. Because although invoicing is important, it's not going to help you grow your organization. Although the scheduling of posts and branding is important, it's not going to necessarily get you to that next level by you doing that. So what tasks can you start to give to someone else? That's where I would look at it as a sole person. But yeah, if you don't have the actual cash flow to do it right now and hire that next person, it's like put a part-time position on.
Yeah. Or hire a VA.
That's right.
Like they can take most of your admin stuff
That's right.
away from you as long as you're cloud-based.
Even do, I get a lot of students asking for internships. If that's something you're interested in, do it. Simon, who works for me, my construction manager, started as an intern and he's been with me for 7 years. He started working for free and good on him. Like he saw the value. He just wanted to come in and learn and see how everything's done and what it's doing. And now he's an excellent, high-performing member of the team. But that's, at the time when he started, I said to him, I said, listen, I don't have something for you to do at the moment. But if you want to come in and shadow me for a little bit, I can give you some stuff. And I taught him a few things here and there. This is how we do this. This is how we do this. He did take some work off. And I'm like, okay, cool. Hey, do you want to come and work for me 2-3 days a week? I was like, yeah, absolutely. Came 2-3 days a week. And then after that, we just won a big project. And I'm like, cool. I don't actually need him. I could manage this project on my own. But fuck it. Here you go. You're on full time now. Put him on. And then that allowed me to concentrate on not just delivering that one project, but focusing on getting another 2. And then all of a sudden we had 3 projects. And then he was looking after 3. And then I could see he's getting a bit busy because then we won 4 and 5. I'm like, cool, let's put on someone else. Let's put on more people on site. So it'll start to snowball effect. The business will get used to paying for these things.
Yeah.
It will get used to it. And then you're like, oh, wow, like how did I ever live without this person in my life? You know?
Set the new
base. Yeah, the new bar. And it's...
Because most people who have had employees will hire employees very fast as soon as they start a business.
You'll never go back. Once you have employees,
like,
you never go back.
Get someone in to do the stuff that I don't need to be doing.
Yeah.
But sometimes you need to go through that journey as well to learn that, okay, I shouldn't be doing that. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Even though I did it at the start and you're wearing many hats when you first start a business, it's like, okay.
Totally fine.
This is now, it's not benefiting anyone to have me do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's actually a loss. We can get this done. We can get this managed by someone else. There's a really good book. Really, really good book. I think everyone should read it. It's called Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. I've just read it. And he talks about team and systems and hiring people. A really good book. And he talks about how if you do anything, he's got a buyback rule. And he talks about how if you do anything that you could pay someone a quarter of what it cost you to do it, you should pay that person. In the sense of if you make $50 an hour and you could hire someone to do this for $10 an hour, you should not do that task yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you work out obviously what your hourly rate is, how much you make, and if you can replace someone and he talks about everything like cleaning, cooking, home management, you know what I mean? Paying your bills, paying your blah, blah, blah. He's like, if you can pay someone to do all that, really good book. Highly recommend.
Yeah. Very cool.
You should read it.
I will.
Right now. All right, how are we going for time? One more?
Yeah. Is that all? Keep going.
There's 20
I think
plus
I feel like we're only 10 minutes into this podcast. We should get a clock in here or a countdown or a timer.
Why?
Just so we can see how much people get to enjoy our voice.
Oh, how long we've been going for? Okay, another question. Do you ever feel guilty for wanting more?
Never.
No.
Not even the slightest.
Ever?
Never.
Not even a little bit?
Not once.
Not
Doesn't
even
cross my mind.
When you think...
The starving children in Africa.
What? No.
No, none of that. Tell me,
I was thinking about the thing
wanting more. Do you know what it was? Recently had Easter and I had 3-4 plates of food. So I wanted more. Didn't feel guilty at all.
I think we're seeing the question differently.
Okay.
I'm seeing it as not appreciating what you have.
Oh, okay.
Not if you're going to eat a second plate, you feel bad. I never feel bad for that.
Never. I saw you in Vegas.
Hey?
I saw you eat in Vegas.
You saw after I was already satiated.
Yeah. Always grateful, never satisfied. That's how I look at it.
So what would you say to someone who feels bad for wanting more?
Why? Why do you feel bad? Ask, like, it comes down to them. It's a internal belief, a limiting belief as well. Why do you feel bad? Because someone else doesn't have the thing that you want? Because, it's like you've got one supercar. Why are you going to get more? Some people don't even get to have one of those and you want 10. You're selfish. And then you get that people that say, oh, there's people dying in Africa. You should give to charity. The fuck you. You give to charity. Why should I give to charity? That's why I've got 15 Lamborghinis. I don't know. Like, why? Who's put the law there to say, or the rule there to say, you can only have this much of this thing?
So okay.
I've never felt bad once, ever, with anything I purchase. Look, I'm a capitalist too.
Yeah, but also I think feeling guilty isn't. I look at it differently. You're looking at it like you're taking stuff off other people's plates. I don't look at it like that.
I'm looking at it like that.
Yeah. Because you're making it sound like you're eating more, the African people aren't, or you're buying 6 Lamborghinis, going into charity.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the 2 examples you get, right?
Yep.
So that's I see it as you're saying they are losing by you winning more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To a
It's
degree,
like
yeah.
taking off their plate.
That's right.
I don't see it like that.
Okay, so how do you see it?
Like in the sense of not being appreciative. Like not
Of
in
what
the,
you have?
Yeah, like in the sense of like, yeah, but like let's go to the next level. Let's go.
But that's
like,
just gratitude. That's what I was saying when I was driving my car the other day. I was
yeah,
like, oh, I
but
don't
that
have the
thought.
Lambo.
So that thought about the Lambo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you feel bad about that thought? Like in the sense of why don't I have the Lambo yet?
I felt annoyed at the thought of not having it yet. But then I also reframed and said, you know what, man, fuck. Like, you're doing good. Just keep going. It's okay. Like, I'm very proud of what I'm driving, of where I live, of
So was that
how I work.
was that a feeling of guiltiness for wanting more?
No, I don't think it was a level of guiltiness. I think it was more, what's the word? Impatience, potentially. Like, why isn't it, like maybe feeling sorry for myself, potentially. I should have had it by now.
Feeling sorry for yourself. That's not, I wouldn't say that's guilt. Yeah, okay. What was the original question? Do you ever feel guilty for wanting more?
Guilty for wanting more. Look, no, I don't. Do you know why? Another thing is I think there's an abundance of everything in this world. There is, you want more love, you want love, like you can get as much of it as you want.
You reckon?
Absolutely. If you want, there's an abundance.
Do you believe
of almost
life
everything.
is a zero-sum game?
What's that mean?
As in, for you... So, all right, I'll give you the correct definition of what a zero-sum game is.
Yeah, because I've never heard that saying.
Have you heard that saying?
Huh? Never heard it. No.
The zero-sum game?
Yeah.
Okay, so a zero-sum game is a situation in which one person's gain is directly equivalent to another person's loss.
Oh, no, I don't believe that at all.
You don't believe life is a zero-sum game?
No. I don't think if I win, the other person loses. Or somewhere someone else loses if I win. I don't think that at all. Why not they win too and I win? Why can't we all win?
Yeah, I think you're wrong.
Yeah, why?
I think life is a zero-sum game.
Why?
Because if you and I are competing for that client, only one gets them.
Yeah, I'll go find another client.
Yeah, but then if I get all the clients, you don't get any.
Oh, you won't get them all though.
Hey?
You won't get them all.
I could.
You won't.
I could.
But you won't.
But why won't I?
Because there's too many clients.
But if I did, you would lose.
But you're not going to.
No, but that's not the point. It's not about will I.
Yeah.
It's about if I did, you lose.
But then you could say that about okay, if I got every client on the
But
planet.
if I ate all the food on the planet, you can't eat because I ate everything. That's
no,
why life is a zero-sum game.
I'll grow my own food.
You can't. I'm going to eat it.
I can't.
Do you know what I mean?
I'll hide it from
But do you get what I'm saying? Like you can't both eat the same meal.
But that example would never happen.
That's not the point.
But how's it? Because it's not reality. So how's it not the point?
It's actually happening.
Huh?
It's actually happening.
How?
So, the ultra rich, they are getting extremely richer and richer in the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the poorest people are becoming extremely poor.
Yeah.
So there's a guy called Gary. He was the world's #1 trader a net bank or whatever, some big bank, and made hundreds of millions of dollars for a bank.
Yep.
He's an economist.
Yep.
So he is like fighting to create more taxes on the wealthy because he believes life is a zero-sum game. And
I believe. Is that the guy from the UK?
yes.
Yeah, that guy's weird. But he's very weird. He had a massive a debate on the Diary of CEO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, did he? Cool.
Yeah. Cool to watch. Him
Yeah.
versus, do you know Daniel Priestley?
Maybe.
The guy from Dent? I reckon you've seen him.
Yeah, I probably have.
Yeah. Anyway, yes. Long story short, I believe life is a zero-sum game. That's not to say that you can't win. You know what I mean? But you need to understand that everything is finite. Everything. Even though there is a lot of it, it's still finite. If I took
That
all the
may be
money,
the
you
case.
can't have some.
Yeah, okay, that might be the case.
Yeah.
But it's not reality because there isn't going to be a person that takes all the money. And if I thought like that, how is that serving me, that thought, in any way? If I think, oh, fuck, someone else is going to have all the money, I'm not going to bother taking it.
No, it's not
Taking my slice.
It's not the thought of someone's going to have all the money. It's the thought of I need to get up and get my own.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You got to
know
go
what I mean?
get it. 100%. You got to go out and get it.
And get my own.
Yeah.
And
But I
there
can
is-
have of it. I can have as much of it as I want.
Yeah.
And me getting all that money or all that love or all that wealth or all that food isn't going to stop this person from having food.
It doesn't
As
stop.
much as I might have, I could own half the farms in Australia or all the farms in Australia.
But so if I bought all the farms in Australia, you can't have any fruit.
I'll grow my own tree. I'll go fucking grow a tree in my backyard.
Yeah. But then you are then creating more to the overall thing. So
To the which?
it's not taking away from the definition.
Yeah.
So if there is $1 million here and I take the full million,
I
you
can't have
take
any of that million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's that million.
That's right.
Now, the world is so big that there is so much that it's like it's almost impossible for you to take the whole thing.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I found a way to take it, I would take it and you can't have any. Which means life is a zero-sum game.
Okay. So, yes, it's a zero-sum game by definition.
Yes.
But not by reality.
What?
In the sense that
That's what you just said doesn't make sense.
okay, but mate, it's not going to happen.
Hey,
That's that aspect of someone owning all the farms, not get like you're talking.
how do you know?
Tyranny, dictatorship?
Yeah,
like
what if
if
that
that
happens?
happens,
What if
if
that
it happens, then yeah, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, but it probably is by that definition a zero-sum game. But if I think like that, well, fuck, I'm not gonna. What's the point in me going out there and thinking if I go and get my $1 million, somewhere someone's going to lose?
It's the reality, dude.
Why are they going to lose though?
They're not going to lose. You are taking that million.
Yes, I'm
that's the
taking-
market.
Yeah.
And you're
I'm
taking
taking-
that million.
I'm
That
taking-
million that you took, no one else can take.
Yes, because it's
Yeah.
mine now.
Yeah.
But they can go get another $1 million from somewhere
Yeah,
else.
probably, yeah.
Another market. That's what I mean. That's always going to exist. Realistically,
Unless you took
chances
everything
are, unless you did, but no one is
right now.
right now and in the foreseeable future. The reality is, I would bet a significant amount of money that that's not going to happen in my lifetime.
But you can't if I have all the money.
Well, then there you go. I'll bet a significant amount
Of apples.
monopoly money.
But do you get what I'm saying?
I do understand
Yeah.
what you're saying, but
So-
it's not. I just don't see it.
Definition-
I
'cause
don't leave
the
it.
definition of, I think abundance is a thing that's sold to you. It's a thing of, you should have an abundant mindset and we can all win. And
Yeah.
not everyone can be a billionaire. Not everyone on the planet can be a billionaire.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's no
correct.
way.
correct. Yes, I agree.
So for you to be a billionaire, you're stopping someone else from being a billionaire.
Okay, yes,
Yeah.
to a degree.
I don't feel bad
Yeah.
at all.
No,
No guilt.
Yeah.
But I also think you shouldn't cause people to suffer
Hmm.
from you winning. Like that's a different.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Like, if,
But
if
at the end of the day, it's competition.
it is.
Yeah,
It is.
and it's like-
it's not. Yeah, exactly. It's competitive.
Yeah, it's
a
competitive.
sport.
And it's like you playing a sport. One team has to win.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I have no issue with that.
Yeah,
I think in life, people are winning and losing all the time.
absolutely, absolutely. And it's like I suppose I see it in my industry when I'm bidding on a project that's often against other builders. If I win that project, they don't also win that project.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what.
So
that's in
what-
the sense of that's
in
a
that-
zero-sum
in
game.
that- in
One
that
person wins this
scenario.
project.
Yes, correct. One person wins the project.
Yeah,
So
and
yes,
even
it's a
if you
zero-sum
said
game
like,
then.
even if you turn around and said, okay, we'll split the project between all three of us. Well, you just lost out on 2/3 of the project.
Yes. Yes. So it is in that regard.
Yeah.
However, what I'm saying is they didn't win that, but there's still plenty more opportunities out there for them to do.
There is opportunities.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Realistically, although it is a zero-sum game, realistically, it's not going to affect you. It's not going to affect you unless you let
The
it.
field of play is big enough.
Yes, the field, that's exactly what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
The field of play for us is huge.
Yeah. But
And
it's still,
until it
it's
gets
still
to
a
a
zero-sum
point-
game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's
absolutely.
like, if I win this, if you and I are going for the same project,
That's right.
one of us is going to win.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One
and
will
it's like
lose.
either you're going to lose
Yeah.
or I'm going to lose.
That's right. 100%. It happens to me all the time.
It's life.
Yeah, that's it.
I-
But I
I
don't
just-
sit there and cry and move on and go, fuck, well, I'm not going to get into construction anymore because I lost that one game.
Yeah.
I got to go, well, where's the next game? Where's the next one? Where's the next one? Where's the next one? And I continue to keep going. And we said it earlier with motivation, that loss that I've accumulated there doesn't make the next project I bid on any less important or any less motivating to win it.
No, I
You know?
agree.
So I don't look at that and go, well, I'm too expensive. I better drop my price by half. Or I'm not good enough to win a big job. I'm going to start pricing smaller jobs. I don't let it have that effect on me moving forward either. So that's where I suppose the abundance for me comes in. Yes, it is. You're right. Someone can come in and take all the money, take all the food.
Yeah.
Realistically,
it's
that's not
finite.
going to happen. Yes. But
It's like
I don't see it happening in our lifetime unless it's, as you said, a full-on dictatorship or full-on war.
no. Yeah, I think the field of play is too big. But the question isn't will it happen?
Yeah.
It's is life.
But then,
It's
yes,
the
it has to
rest of
be.
the game. It is.
It has to be. There's
Yeah.
no doubt about it.
I think the whole because you sold this in like life's abundant. And we
I
can all
say,
win.
I say it in my own trainings.
Yeah.
But I do believe that everyone in the room can win in their own area.
At a cost.
Yes, has to be a cost.
Yeah.
There has to be.
But then if it's at the cost of someone else, did that person win?
They just got to move on to the next one. As you said, the field is so big. The field is huge. The field is too big that
So at
not
what
everyone
point-
can't
okay.
win at least a bit of the game, at least a little bit.
So at what point can someone not win? That there's got to be a limit. do you
I don't
get
know.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Will they give up?
No. As in, what's the number? Like, okay, how many people were your last event?
I don't know.
Ballpark, 100. Okay, 100 people. Everyone in that room can win.
Mhm.
All right, what if it was 200? Can everyone still win? What if it was 2,000? Can everyone still win? What if it was 2 million? Can everyone still win? What if it was 2
Potentially.
billion?
Yeah.
Can everyone still win?
Yeah.
What if it was 200 billion? Can everyone still win?
Mm.
What if it was 2
But
trillion?
this is the other
Like,
thing, right?
There's a line.
Yes, but there's not 2 billion builders in the country. Like, say, in that instance.
So what?
Huh?
So what?
Because then they're not all competing for the same thing. If they're all competing for the same thing.
Okay,
then
so
yeah,
but so
without
if
doubt.
there was 2 billion builders, then not everyone could win.
But again, it's like saying if aliens came here and took us over, then we're not going to win.
Yeah, of course we're not going to win.
Exactly. But like, is the likelihood we're betting on an anomaly that's more than likely not going to happen?
It's not, so you're saying there is no way ever
saying
in
there's no aliens?
humanity there's going to be 2 billion builders?
I don't know. I don't know the answer.
But do you
But
understand?
not in my lifetime in Australia.
It's about understanding where the line is.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, at some point, not
At
everyone,
some point, but the line is so far away
Yeah.
that 2,000 builders in a room could win.
but yeah.
Yeah.
So could 20,000?
I don't know, but the line's far. It depends. There would be a point, yes.
Yeah, there's 100%
Yeah.
point. What was the question that took us onto that?
Doesn't matter.
All right, let's go
What's
with
the next one? I can't remember.
how are we going for time? One more question?
48 minutes.
Okay,
long run.
we'll go one more question. One more question. We'll go with this one. What do you do when you feel stuck or plateaued in your business? Great question.
Yeah.
I'll kick this off while you think.
Yeah, I've got an
Okay.
answer, but go.
This is what I would do. I would look at every aspect of the business and work out what it is. First of all, are you actually stuck or plateaued or are you just bored? Because sometimes we get bored and we start to look at other stuff and blah, blah, blah. That's the first thing you need to work out. And then if you are and you're like, hey, man, we've been doing, $1 million a year for the last 5 years and I don't know how to overcome this hurdle, you got to work out what your biggest constraint point is. So if you break down the numbers of your business from how many people, how many leads you generate or how much you're spending on marketing to how many sales you do to how your ability to deliver everything, somewhere you're capped. You need to work out where you're capped, what the biggest bottleneck is in that flow, and how you can overcome it. You know what I mean? For some people, like if you're talking construction, for a lot of people, it's insurance. Work out how you can get more insurance or how you can do more jobs or whatever it might be, right? If you don't have enough clients, you're like, we only do 3 projects a year because I can't get any more marketing. You know what I mean? Or we can't deliver more because we don't have a big enough team. Get a bigger fucking team. Go hire the next person. Who's the next person you need to hire that's going to take some load off your plate or your team's plate that's going to allow them to then do more with what they do? You know what I mean? I was talking to someone the other day and they said their estimator was at capacity. And I think they pay their estimator 110 grand a year. And I was like, okay, so what'd you do? And he's like, oh, I got him a VA. He's like, so instead of hiring a second estimator, I got him a VA. That VA freed up 40% of their time. Now he can almost do double what he was doing now. And it cost us an extra 25 grand a year instead of costing us an additional 110 plus car, plus phone, plus blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, where's the biggest constraint point in the business? And what is it that you can do to fix that blockage? Because somewhere there's a leaky pipe. You're losing out somewhere. You need to understand the business from start to finish and say, okay, cool. What's the thing that we can't do right now that if we made the tweaks there or we invested time or energy into that part, we'd break through that glass ceiling?
Yeah.
Because it's a glass ceiling.
Yeah, it is. It always is. There's always another level. Always another level. It's also, I mean, very similar to what you're saying. It's you got to take that action. Like if you're sitting there and you're plateaued and you're not hitting that next ceiling, you're not doing enough. You're not doing enough. And if you're not doing enough, it's from boredom or from a constraint. And you need to break either of those by doing more, by increasing your action.
Yeah.
Increasing your volume in the business, in the activity, whatever it is, in the people.
Yeah. This is with the prerequisite of that you are stuck. Like the supposition that you're stuck. If you're doing 5 mil a year and you're living the life of your dreams,
you've won.
You've won, yeah.
You don't have to go to 10 or
Hats off to
15 or
you.
20. You don't have to 10x it, you know. You've won. And Gary Vee's massive on that too. Because a lot of people, he goes, I've got friends. Yeah, he is. He goes, he's got friends that make 100 grand a year and happy as shit.
Yeah, he's like their coaches.
Yeah, he goes, exactly. He goes, they are so happy. They're living their dream. Like they are winning. He goes, I've got a, 100 million, 200 to $500 million company with 1,500 employees. Every day is stressful. And he goes, every day shit's on. Every day I've got challenges and spot fires and this and this and this. He goes, they would hate my life, even though I've got so much more than what they do, materialistically or financially, whatever it is.
Yeah. But I think some people just have that itch.
I would also, if you're stuck there, often you can't see past your own shortcomings either. So it may be a matter of getting an external advisor to have a look at your business. It may be a matter of getting a mentor to come in and pay them and have a chat with them to give you some guidance. Because, you're always limited by your own beliefs, I suppose. You can be limited by going, well, how do I get past that? I've never been to 30 million. How do I get to 30 million? You can guess, you could probably do some research and do it the hard way or do it the longer way, probably pay a lot of money in mistakes to get to that point. Or you can go and speak to someone that has done it already or advisors that can point you in the right direction at the very least.
Yeah, I think having a extra set of eyes.
Yeah, well, like we're in the process, literally, after we get out of this meeting, I'll be sending an email to, I won't say who, but an advisor. I'll be changing an advisor in my business. One definitely served their purpose for many years, and now I need to move to another one who's a bigger organization and can now give me more strategic advice in my organization to say, go this, do this, structure it like this. I'm going to pay a lot more for that, but in the long term, it's going to help me expand operations.
And yeah, any investment you make like that should pay for itself.
Without a doubt. And I've got no doubt it will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So great questions, guys. Thank you very much for sending those through, those of you that did. And the beauty about this is, correct me if I'm wrong, there's a link in the show notes.
There's a link in
or on our website.
In the YouTube description, or if you're listening to this on Spotify, it'll be in the description of the episode, or it'll be on all the social media handles.
Yeah. And you can
on the link tree.
Even send us a DM on the social media pages
do
as well.
The same way, so they're all listed together.
Oh, is that what happens?
Yeah.
Sure. I don't know, mate. This guy's doing this.
Just make it easy.
sick
Nah, if
shit.
you do send us a DM, we will answer though.
Yeah. We can just add it to the list.
Add it to the bottom of the list.
The bottom, the very
So,
bottom.
Yeah. But yeah, send your questions in. I reckon we do this. And let us know what you thought of this episode. Let us know if you like having the questions answered. Because our aim is to try and give back through this as much as we can, share our insights as well as what we're going through at the moment too.
Yeah.
But no better way to do that than answering the direct questions that you guys have. Really, because that tells us, what you for yourself, and be selfish with your question.
Yeah.
And add some context.
Yeah, that'd be
and
good too.
Yeah, and add that tells us, what you guys want to hear more about, and then we can start to create more content that lines up directly with that.
Well, if it's a deep question too, and we have a lot of context behind it, we could almost do a whole episode on it, depending how deep it does go.
Maybe.
Yeah, it could be one of those topics that's just so broad or so in depth that we need to go deep on it. So that'd be pretty cool to get those through. But thank you very much for those people that did send the questions through. Love seeing that stuff. And we we'll do our best to get around to every single question. Until we can't, because it's
too many.
What if someone owns all the questions? What if someone asks all the questions
Every
and no
single
other
question
questions could be asked?
That could happen.
That's it.
Don't do that.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, guys. Appreciate having you here. Hope you're having $1 million day. And as always, we look forward to catching up with you next week.
Yes, like, subscribe, do
All the fun stuff.
all the fun stuff, and share it with your mother.
There you go. Thanks, guys. See you next week.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.